During his presidency, Donald Trump had several high-profile interactions and meetings with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Notable meetings between the two leaders took place at international summits and events. Here are some key points related to their interactions. Helsinki Summit, 2018. One of the most widely covered meetings between Trump and Putin occurred in Helsinki, Finland, in July 2018. The two leaders held a joint press conference after a private meeting. During the conference, President Trump faced criticism for appearing to accept Putin's denial of Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election, despite the assessment of U.S. intelligence agencies. G20 summits. Trump and Putin also met at various G20 summits during his presidency. These meetings often involved discussions on a range of international issues, including arms control, Syria, and economic matters. Sanctions. During Trump's presidency, the United States implemented and expanded sanctions against Russia for various reasons, including Russia's annexation of Crimea, alleged election interference, and human rights abuses. These sanctions were often a point of contention in U.S.-Russia relations. Phone calls. Trump and Putin reportedly had multiple phone calls during his presidency to discuss various issues, such as arms control agreements and the conflict in Syria. Investigations. Trump's presidency was marked by investigations into possible collusion between his campaign and Russian interference in the 2016 election. These investigations led to the appointment of a special counsel, Robert Mueller, who issued a report on Russian interference in the election. Please note that any developments related to Donald Trump's interactions with Russia beyond September 2021 are not within my knowledge. To get the most up-to-date information on this topic, I recommend checking recent news sources and reports. Point 1. Background on U.S.-Russia relations. Donald Trump's presidency began against the backdrop of strained U.S.-Russia relations. The relationship had deteriorated over the preceding years due to Russia's annexation of Crimea, its involvement in the conflict in eastern Ukraine, and allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. 2. Early efforts to improve relations. During his campaign, Trump expressed a desire to improve relations with Russia and often praised Russian President Vladimir Putin's leadership. This stance raised eyebrows among many in the U.S. political establishment. 3. The Helsinki Summit, 2018. One of the most closely watched events in Trump's interactions with Russia was the Helsinki Summit in July 2018. In a highly publicized press conference, President Trump appeared to accept Putin's denial of Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. election, sparking controversy and criticism from both Democrats and Republicans. This led to a significant backlash, with many questioning Trump's approach to Russia. 4. Sanctions and policy actions. Despite his stated desire for improved relations, Trump's administration took a series of actions against Russia. These included the expulsion of Russian diplomats in response to the poisoning of a former Russian spy in the United Kingdom, the passage of the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, CAATSA, and the provision of lethal aid to Ukraine in its conflict with Russian-backed separatists. 5. Ongoing challenges. Throughout his presidency, Trump faced ongoing challenges related to Russia. These included the conflict in Syria, where the U.S. and Russia had differing interests, as well as disagreements on arms control agreements, such as the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces (INF) treaty, which the Trump administration withdrew from in 2019. 6. Investigations and special counsel. One of the most significant developments related to Trump's interactions with Russia was the appointment of special counsel Robert Mueller to investigate Russian interference in the 2016 election and possible collusion between Trump's campaign and Russian actors. The Mueller report, released in April 2019, detailed Russia's efforts to influence the election but did not establish collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. 7. Phone calls and diplomacy. Trump and Putin reportedly had multiple phone calls and meetings during his presidency to discuss various international issues, such as nuclear arms control and the Syrian conflict. These interactions were closely scrutinized for their potential impact on U.S. foreign policy. In summary, Donald Trump's presidency was marked by a complex and often contentious relationship with Russia. While he expressed a desire for improved relations, his administration took a range of policy actions, including sanctions and military support for Ukraine, that demonstrated a more confrontational stance. Trump's approach to Russia generated significant debate and scrutiny throughout his presidency, and the U.S.'s